Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We are back for another edition of Edmentum, Illinois, Fact, Fiction, and Fuzzy. And I am super excited to be here with Dr. Brad Hubbard. He is the Superintendent of Schools in Antioch District 34, way up close to the Wisconsin border, to the northernmost tip of Illinois. Sometimes I like to joke about him being dangerously close to the Wisconsin border. Brad, we're happy to have you here. Thanks for participating in this segment. How are you doing today?
Well, it's always good to join you and see you, Jason. Always appreciate being included in this stuff. We're doing well.
Excellent, Brad. I'm happy to hear that. So again, fact, fiction, and fuzzy, right? Something that you know is a fact in your district or in your community, something that maybe you realized not too long ago was more of a fiction that maybe you thought was a fact, and then a fuzzy to wrap it up. So we'll start out with a fact, Brad.
For sure. I think a lot of superintendents would argue this in their own backyards, but a fact that I've learned to become comfortable with over the last 7 years, but specifically this 1 year working in Antioch School District 34 as superintendent, as our community is absolutely amazing. We kicked off the year with presentations to our staff, with communications to our families, and we talked about three things here in District 34, and it was hope, gratitude, and grace, knowing that this year was going to look and feel a lot different than any other year has. And we were asking for permission and giving permission for people to have hope and display gratitude and offer themselves and each other and us grace. And I think, hope, I know Dr. Tafoya was on here with you guys, and I heard him talk about attitude. And, we talked about hope, just being positive, having hope for what we're doing with, for, and on behalf of our students. And our entire community has bought into that and has had an amazing attitude through the lens of hope. And we've been explicit about celebrating the wins, no matter how small they are. We've been explicit about trying to put out there the things that we want to celebrate and that we're proud of, and that's the gratitude component. And grace is more important now than ever, and it's affording ourselves grace, but also giving grace to others. When you read the anxious email from the parent that is unsure of when decisions are going to be made or not necessarily in agreement with kind of the learning environment that we're in right now, I think that that grace is reciprocal. It goes both ways. Those emails almost always start with appreciate all your work, but here's our thoughts and here's our experience and here's our story. And, we take a deep breath before we respond to those and really listen to them and try to put ourselves in the shoes and in the minds and in the stories of those people we're hearing from. So hope, gratitude, and grace has really been a theme for the beginning of this year. And the fact is that our community, from our staff to our students to the communities that we serve, are just incredibly supportive. Our Board of Education, we've got a great community up here in Antioch.
Excellent, Brad. How about maybe something that you thought was true, but maybe you learned was fiction?
So I don't know that I ever thought it was true. Anybody that's ever heard me talk has heard me talk extensively about the importance of relationships in virtually everything that we do, but especially in this thing that we're doing around education. And I think that there was a lot of doubt and disbelief in whether or not we could form meaningful, authentic, and genuine relationships with students in a remote environment. And whether or not I could do it remotely leading an organization. There's still a lot of staff members that I have not yet had the good fortune to meet face to face. But I think the fiction is relationships can transcend a remote environment, a Zoom call. We've been able to forge relationships with our staff, with our community, and I'm blown away. And I'm actually in one of our buildings today with 5 scheduled classroom visits, seeing teachers teaching remotely from their classrooms, but also some of our programs that are in session. So I'll be able to see both of those. But the common denominator, the strand that connects it all, is that our teachers have done an amazing job of building authentic, genuine relationships with our students, no matter what age they are, no matter how well they knew them going into this year. I'm just blown away that relationships can be forged, tend to, so long as you're intentional about it. We can build meaningful relationships that will allow us to open the doors for real learning to happen.
And even that much more challenging, right? Given the circumstances and the remote nature and the beginning of the school year, all of those things put together, right? So that's incredible. Excellent. Brad, how about last one would be a fuzzy, maybe something that you're proud of, something that made you laugh, something that made you feel fuzzy.
Yeah. So when I first saw the fuzzy, I thought it was fuzzy like confused. And
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were going to have to carve out an hour for the discussion about all the things that I'm unsure about and confused on. In this environment, it constantly feels like we're kind of to navigating, the unknown. The great part about that, the thing that makes me feel warm and fuzzy though, is the amount of support that I've gotten. It's been incredible, the number of parents and community members, other community leaders, other superintendents, our board that have just reached out and offered not just well wishes, but offered genuine support. What can we do? How can we help share a message? We've had parents reach out and just said, help me understand the data that you're looking at, help me understand the decisions that you're making. And we've jumped on calls and walked people through kind of where we're at. And I feel an incredible amount of love. And I think that's how I would define the fuzzy that I felt since we've started this. It manifests itself in so many different ways in this environment and in others. But I felt so much love in and amongst our staff and our students and our community, both, for and directed toward me, but then seeing them care for each other. We've dealt with some things already this school year that have been unfortunate, and to see people rally around others is just, it makes you feel so proud to be associated with an organization and to work and serve in a community that demonstrates genuine love on a daily basis.
There you have it, folks. Brad Hubbard here from Antioch District 34, telling us all that love is going to continue to abide here, right, as we continue to move on, and that's what's going to help us get through this. Particularly, like you said, Brad, when things are fuzzy, right? It's good to have people. It's good to have that. When you have questions and unknowns, it's good to have people around that are there to support you and provide that love and support. Brad, we really want to thank you so much. If you haven't already, folks, please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll see a new edition of Friday Fact, Fiction, and Fuzzy every week here as we move throughout this current school year. Brad, we really appreciate your time, and best wishes to you. Stay healthy and well.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thanks so much.